I want to start this deep dive with a seemingly impossible question for you, the listener.
Oh, I love these thought experiments.
Right. So I want you to imagine having to describe exactly who you are to a total stranger.
Okay, sounds easy enough.
But there is a major catch here. You are completely banned from mentioning your physical body.
Wow, okay. That strips away a lot.
Exactly. And you cannot mention your passing feelings either.
No feelings, no body.
No daily thoughts, no personality quirks, no job titles, and you can't even reference a single memory.
That is, wow, that's a huge constraint.
Yeah, if you strip all of that away, taking down the entire structure you normally use to define yourself to the world, what exactly is left?
I mean, most people hit a massive wall right there.
I certainly do. It's totally blank.
It induces this kind of psychological vertigo, really. We rely so heavily on those specific descriptors.
We really do.
Our aches, our anxieties, our career milestones. We cling to those emotional reactions. The general assumption is that if you remove that scaffolding of daily experiences, well, the whole building collapses and you just cease to exist entirely.
It just feels like there'd be nothing left. But the really fascinating source material we are exploring today argues that this blank space is not empty at all.
Not even a little bit.
In fact, it argues that this blank space is like the only thing that is genuinely real. We are diving into a text titled Star Hollandite and the Infinite Awareness.
Such a compelling read.
It really is. And the mission today is to try and understand this radical shift in human perspective, moving from a really confined physical self to an infinite cosmic consciousness.
Which is a massive leap.
It is. And the kicker is that this text doesn't rely on, just sitting and meditating alone. It actually demands the use of a very specific, tangible tool to make this leap.
Yeah, the text treats the philosophy as entirely dependent on a physical application. It presents a very clear roadmap for moving beyond biological limitations, but it insists on using the specific resonance of a Star Hollandite crystal to actually bridge the gap.
To connect your localized awareness to the vastness of creation.
Exactly. It views the stone not as like a symbolic token, but as a literal mechanical device for consciousness.
Which means locating the actual physical stone is pretty much prerequisite for anyone wanting to really test these claims out.
And historically, that's been tough. Sorting high-quality pieces of this specific mineral inclusion can be a massive headache.
A huge headache. But fortunately, if you're intrigued by this methodology we're about to break down, I actually have some great news.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, Keith at KSE Crystals is pleased to introduce new stock of this very specific stone, and it is available right now.
That's perfect timing.
It really is. You can go find it at https://www.kstcrystals.com / quartz 1443 Dutch ASP. So having the physical crystal is central to the practice.
It's the key.
But before we get to the actual mechanics of how to use it, we have to look at how this source just unequivocally dismantles our standard operating procedure as human beings.
It really tears it down.
It demands that we completely redefine the word I.
It pulls no punches in its opening arguments either. I mean, it categorizes your thoughts, your fluctuating emotions, and your physical body as purely outward experiences.
Outward, like external to who we are.
Right. The author insists that everything you typically view as your core identity is transient. It's just weather, and you are not the weather.
Man, saying I am not my thoughts is such a tall order when, my thoughts are currently screaming at me about a deadline at work.
Or when your physical body is just radiating pain after a long day.
Yes. The idea that these are just passing outward experiences feels almost dismissive of how intense reality can be. But let me try an analogy here to see if I'm grasping the text's angle.
Go for it.
Imagine your daily life is like sitting in a massive movie theater.
The immersive kind, right, where the sound is just rattling your seat.
Exactly, a totally chaotic IMAX experience. And the action sequences on the screen are your stressful moments.
Okay, tracking.
The tragic scenes are your passing feelings of grief. The romantic scenes are your fleeting moments of joy.
While playing out up there.
Right. The movie is incredibly loud. It demands your total attention. And it is perfectly designed to make you feel like you are actually inside of it.
But you aren't.
No. The fundamental truth of the theater is that you are not the film. You are simply the quiet observer sitting in the dark, watching the projection unfold.
You're just the awareness of the movie.
Exactly. Does that line up with the source?
It does, but the text actually takes that a step further. It argues that our primary suffering comes from completely forgetting we are in a theater at all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we essentially sprint up to the screen and try to physically fight the villains or, hold on to the romantic leads. We mistake the projection for our actual selves.
That sounds exhausting.
It is. Think about the psychological burden of identifying completely with a passing emotion. If you are deeply angry and you genuinely believe you are that anger, you become totally trapped inside the frame of the film.
But wait, if we are supposed to strip away all these limiting beliefs and self-definitions, if I am not my career or my anxiety or my memories, isn't that kind of terrifying?
How so?
Well, if I'm not the movie, what is actually holding me together?
It's only terrifying if you believe the movie is the only thing of value. The text proposes that recognizing these experiences as transient is actually the foundation for true psychological freedom.
Okay, I can sort of see that.
If you realize your body's pain or your mind's anxiety is just a scene playing out on the screen, you don't disappear. You simply locate the part of yourself that cannot be damaged by the plot.
Oh, I like that.
Right. The bad day at work doesn't destroy you because the screen can literally catch fire and the observer in the dark theater remains completely untouched.
That is a massive paradigm shift. I mean, the idea that I can just sit back and watch the stress happen without letting it consume my entire identity.
It's very liberating.
But if we successfully detach from the illusion of the physical self and we let all those passing emotions just blow away like the wind, we are still left staring at that initial void we talked about.
The blank slate.
Right. What is actually sitting in that theater seat?
The source answers that by elevating a single word far beyond our typical everyday usage.
Which word?
Awareness. It argues that when all self-imposed physical and mental boundaries fall away, pure awareness is the only thing left.
And it doesn't just mean paying attention to your surroundings.
No,
right?
not at all. The text defines this pure awareness as the ultimate I.
And it assigns some truly mind-bending attributes to this I, because I remember the text claims this awareness is infinite.
Yes, entirely without boundary.
It talks about this concept of pure oneness, insisting there is zero separation between you and the rest of the universe.
You literally are the all of creation, according to this.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
And then it drops a timeline on us that completely breaks the rules of biology.
The eternal aspect.
Yeah, it says your awareness is eternal, that it was present before you were born on Earth, and it will continue long after your physical body dies.
This is the exact moment the text asks you to abandon the geometry of a normal human lifespan.
Because we usually view our existence as a straight line, right?
Exactly. A definitive beginning at birth, moving to a definitive end at death. But the author just shatters that line, suggesting the true I is a constant state of being.
Completely independent of the biological vessel it happens to be inhabiting right now.
Precisely.
Okay, hold on. I need to stop you there because this is a really massive leap.
It is a lot to take in.
Like, I can accept being the quiet observer of my thoughts. That is a highly effective, grounded psychological tool. I get it.
Sure.
But to claim I am the all of creation, and that this specific I existed before my brain was even fully formed in utero.
It's a big jump.
How does the source actually justify that, whether scientifically or philosophically? Like, how does it connect my highly localized awareness, the part of me deciding what to eat for lunch today, to this vast, eternal, cosmic consciousness?
Well, the text resolves that tension by arguing that consciousness is not actually generated by the brain.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it treats consciousness as a fundamental universal fabric, kind of like gravity or electromagnetism.
Okay.
So the brain isn't a factory producing your awareness. It's actually just a localized antenna receiving it.
Oh, so similar to a radio broadcast.
A radio receiver is a perfect way to visualize it. Think about a radio playing a jazz song.
Right.
If you take a hammer and smash the radio to pieces, the music definitely stops playing in that specific room.
Yeah, the radio's dead.
But you didn't destroy the radio wave. The actual jazz broadcast is still everywhere, moving through the air, completely untouched by the destruction of that one localized receiver.
Wow, that makes so much sense.
The text posits that your physical body, your ego, your daily memories, those are just the plastic and wiring of the radio. Your true awareness is the signal itself.
Which totally explains the timeline claim.
Exactly.
Because, of course, the broadcast existed before this specific radio was manufactured on an assembly line. And, of course, the signal will continue long after the radio breaks.
It's eternal.
That actually gives me chills. It implies the individual self is really just an artificial temporary
It's a
boundary.
very convincing boundary, but yes.
We put up these walls of personality and physical form, convincing ourselves that the space inside the walls is us.
And everything outside the walls is not us. And, that localized vantage point is useful for navigating a physical world.
I mean, yeah, you need to know where your hand ends and the fire begins so you don't burn yourself.
Exactly. But the author's core thesis is that you can temporarily tune the radio away from its localized station and sync it back up with the omnipresent frequency of the universe.
Which perfectly moves us from this high-minded theory into the actual tangible methodology of the book.
The how-to part.
Right, because the text doesn't just tell us to sit quietly and think about being a radio wave. It provides a highly specific physical protocol using Star Hollandite to actually achieve this state of boundless consciousness.
The shift from the metaphysical to the strictly mechanical here is fascinating. The source treats the Star Hollandite crystal as a necessary tuning device.
Like a piece of hardware.
Exactly. And to initiate this expanded consciousness, the first step the text outlines is to lay down flat on the ground.
Okay, so lying down.
Yes. And it specifically emphasizes the necessity of being outside, in direct contact with nature.
So step 1, get horizontal on the dirt.
Right.
Step 2, take the Star Hollandite crystal and place it either just above your head or directly on your chest, right over your heart. And then step 3 is the active component. You are instructed to take a series of deliberate deep breaths, but the text specifically asks you to focus on breathing into the crystal itself.
That breath work is crucial.
And the stated goal here is to activate and entrain the crystal's resonance with your own personal resonance. So what exactly is entrainment in this context?
Well, entrainment is a principle native to hard physics, not just spirituality.
Really?
Yeah. When two interacting, oscillating systems with different rhythms are brought together, they will naturally exchange energy until they assume a common period. They basically sync up.
Oh, wow.
The text is applying this physics principle directly to human biology and the crystalline structure of the stone.
It sounds exactly like acoustic resonance. Like if you take two tuning forks pitched to the exact same frequency,
Yes.
and you strike the first one so it rings out, you don't even have to touch the second tuning fork.
It just happens automatically.
Right. You just bring the vibrating fork near it, and the sound waves traveling through the air will physically force the second fork to start vibrating at the identical frequency.
The tuning fork analogy highlights the mechanism perfectly. But the text focuses heavily on the geological properties of Star Hollandite to explain why it acts as the master tuning fork in this scenario.
Okay, what makes this stone so special?
Star Hollandite is essentially clear quartz containing tiny star-shaped inclusions of the mineral hollandite, which is a barium manganese oxide.
Got it.
Now, quartz is naturally piezoelectric, meaning it generates an electrical charge under mechanical stress and it maintains a highly stable baseline frequency.
So by using this specific stone, we aren't just holding a pretty rock.
Not at all.
The text is implying we are actively engaging with a highly stable, naturally oscillating energetic structure.
That's the premise.
But how does deep breathing actually force my, messy biological frequency to sync up with the crystal's incredibly stable frequency?
Well, think about breathing. It's the one physical function that straddles the line between our autonomic nervous system and our conscious control.
Oh, right. Because you breathe automatically when you sleep, but you can also choose to hold your breath right now.
Exactly. By directing rhythmic conscious breathing, you literally alter your heart rate variability.
Okay.
And that pushes your brainwaves out of the frantic localized beta state into much slower alpha or theta states.
I see.
You are consciously slowing down the erratic vibration of your internal tuning fork, so it can actually lock onto the stable, high-frequency resonance of the Star Hollandite.
That makes total sense. But that brings up a huge question about the physical placements recommended by the text.
The head and the heart.
Yeah. Why are we placing the stone specifically over the heart or just above the head? Why not, hold it in our hands or put it on our stomach?
It comes back to where the human body generates its most significant energetic fields. From a purely biological standpoint, the heart generates the largest electromagnetic field in the entire body.
Wait, really? Larger than the brain?
Measurably larger than the brain's field, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So by placing the conductive resonant structure of the Star Hollandite directly over the heart, you are dropping the master tuning fork into the absolute center of your body's electromagnetic broadcast.
Oh, wow. And what about the placement just above the head?
Well, the brain is the epicenter of electrical synapses. The space just above the physical skull is widely recognized in both ancient traditions, often called the crown chakra, and modern biofield studies as the primary point of external energetic exchange.
It's an access point.
Right. Placing the stone there interacts directly with the electrical activity of your localized consciousness.
I'm struck by the profound paradox at the center of this entire methodology.
How so?
The ultimate goal of this text is to teach us that we are not our physical bodies. It wants us to completely detach from our physical boundaries and realize we are the boundless universe.
That is the goal, yes.
Yet to achieve this completely non-physical state, it demands deeply physical acts.
It really does.
You have to lie in the dirt.
Yeah.
You have to manipulate your biological lungs. You have to place a dense, tangible rock on your physical chest. It's like using a really heavy physical ladder to climb out of the physical world entirely.
That's a beautiful way to put it. The text doesn't view the physical world as something to be despised or ignored. It actually views it as a necessary launching pad.
A launching pad.
Yes. The physical body must feel completely safe and anchored to let go of its localized grip. Think about it. If your nervous system is agitated, like if you're standing up on a noisy, crowded train, your brain is utilizing all its bandwidth to keep you upright and alert to danger.
Right, you're in survival mode.
Exactly. You cannot dissolve your localized awareness into the cosmos because your body is just too busy surviving.
That makes perfect sense. Lying flat on the earth literally grounds the physical circuitry.
It does.
It basically signals to the survival brain, hey, we are completely supported by gravity. There is zero threat right now.
Exactly.
You're keeping the human radio safely plugged into the wall so the antenna can confidently tune in to the cosmic broadcast.
And the ultimate result of this entrained, synchronized state, according to the source, is a profound shift in perspective.
The total shift.
Your awareness literally slips the confines of the skull and merges into the expanded cosmic consciousness. You experience firsthand the pure oneness the author described earlier.
So you aren't just thinking about being the universe anymore.
No, through the resonance of the stone, you are experiencing it.
To bring all of these concepts together, we started today by confronting the kind of terrifying reality that we are not our passing thoughts, our anxieties, or our physical bodies.
A tough pill to swallow, for sure.
Definitely. We had to recognize that we are simply the quiet observer in the dark theater watching the movie of our lives play out.
Right.
And from there, we discovered the nature of that observer, an eternal, infinite awareness acting as a receiver for the universal broadcast.
The signal, not the radio.
Yes. And finally, we explored the mechanical application, how utilizing the stable frequency of Star Hollandite, combined with grounded breathwork, physically entrains our biological systems to briefly tune into the frequency of all creation.
It really is a remarkably complete journey the text provides. It moves from identifying the source of our daily psychological suffering to offering a very tangible physical method for transcending it.
And I think the incredible value of this text is that its core insights are highly applicable even outside the specific physical practice.
Oh, absolutely.
I want to relate this directly to you, the listener, and whatever your reality looks like right now. You might not have the luxury of laying in a quiet field with a piece of Star Hollandite on your chest today.
Most of us don't.
Right. You may be commuting in traffic, or dealing with a really difficult client, or facing a sudden wave of personal anxiety. But just keeping the mechanics of the radio receiver in the back of your mind can be an incredibly powerful tool for navigating a chaotic week.
For sure. The next time an overwhelming emotion hits, just the mere act of recalling that it is an outward experience immediately lowers its power over you.
It gives you some distance.
You don't have to fight the anxiety. You just sit in the theater and observe it passing across the screen. You can learn from the weather, but you don't let the weather define the landscape of who you are.
I love that. Because if the source is correct, and your core awareness truly existed long before you were born, and will continue long after your body is gone, then every single stress, triumph, and heartbreak you are experiencing right now is just a tiny, temporary fluctuation in an endless broadcast.
A blip on the radar.
Exactly. So I want to leave you with this thought to mull over today. What might you do differently today? What risks might you finally take? Or what heavy burdens might you put down if you truly believed your core self was entirely indestructible?